What's going on, everybody? Alright, it's official. Everyone's favorite geriatric socialist has joined the presidential race for the Democrats. Bernie Sanders has announced that he is going to run again. Jeez, Pete's, we can never get rid of this little commie. This guy, he's 77 years old now. He'll be 79 at the time of the actual, if he were to become president, he'd be 79 years old. That's old. I don't know if y'all have listened to him much. I kind of have to, because I have to listen to all them progressives. And this guy's a blubbering idiot. He is the geriatric equivalent of an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think Bernie Sanders is where she got all of her pie in the sky ideas from, to be honest. He wants to run on universal health care, a $15 minimum wage, which sounds good in theory, you know. Both of those things sound good in theory. It's just financially, they'll just destroy everything. You know, you like to go to McDonald's or something once in a while to get a nice cheap burger. Well, imagine if everyone in that McDonald's was making $15 an hour across the board. That cheap burger is going to be a $15 burger by the time you're done with it. There's already states where just to go to what we would consider a fast food joint for two people is going to cost you well into the $20 range. That's crazy. Hell, here in Virginia, because of Obama's policies and the fat tax and all that whatnot, our stuff like soda, blah blah blah, fast food, this, that, and the other, anything with pretty much sugar in it is taxed so much that it's crazy. Last time I went to McDonald's, it's been almost a year now, but last time I went, two people to get full meals was $18. And if you go out West Coast, where the progressives reign supreme, you're talking way more than that. It's crazy. It is insane. But yeah, he's not only running on that, he's running on promoting the Green New Deal, which the Green New Deal will completely add to. Alright, universal health care over a 10-year period would cost around $21 to $22 trillion. Now, add on top of that everything that the Green New Deal implies. You're looking, people think the national debt's crazy now at what is it, 22 trillion, I think is the national debt. Yeah, imagine that doubling within one presidency. That would be insane. But, you know, he's a socialist, so he doesn't care. They think you hand out free things and money just happens. Money just happens. You can print money. That's what causes inflation. Ask Venezuela what inflation's like. They are at 1,000,000% inflation. And they're falling apart as a country. And they got a leader who's a socialist who won't even let U.S. aid come into their border. Well, we'll see how that plays out. I think by Friday, they're actually going to attempt to get it into the border. So we'll see what the military there does. If the military has any heart or soul or any national pride of any type, they're going to let it through against Maduro's wishes. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so we got Bernie Sanders. He put his hat in again. Now the Democratic Party, the way they're setting this up is going to be a fail for them, because you got a guy who couldn't even beat Hillary Clinton, who was one of the most hated Democratic nominees there was, and he couldn't even beat her. And then you got Elizabeth Warren, who is just a crappy person, man. She lied about her heritage just to get ahead, after saying specifically she'd never used her heritage to get ahead. And then you go look at her bar report from Texas, and bam, it's right there. Very loud and proud on that piece of paper. So she did. I mean, she tried to pander, and it blew up in her face. Then you got Kamala Harris, who sits there and has been a prosecuted people for drug crimes and all this, and put people in prison for marijuana offenses, saying, yeah, in high school or in college, I used to smoke, back in the 80s, I used to smoke pot with my friends and listen to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre before they ever even came out, so she's got credibility issues, and she's obviously a liar too. Then you got Amy Klobuchar, and I don't know much about her, and I think the Democratic Party's trying to keep it that way. She's going to be one of those no-name type people. She's going to be the Bernie Sanders of 2016, where they just kind of brush her aside. I mean, she obviously ain't too bright. She held her presidential nomination speech in a blizzard. Not that smart. And then you got Cory Booker, old Spartacus himself. No thank you. I don't think America's ready for a vegan president. And someone who is also a liar, because he said, back during the Kavanaugh thing, I don't know how many of y'all watched that fiasco, but I watched the whole thing. And, yeah, he was sitting here touting that I'm going to put this out here against all the rules, and I don't care if anyone tries to get me fired or whatever, blah, 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 when actually he put that information out there after asking everybody. They already knew he was going to do that, so he's also a liar. They always want to say that our president right now is a compulsive liar. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah, he embellishes. He'll over-embellish a lot of topics. That's one of his flaws. He likes to embellish everything. But generally speaking, he does what he says he's going to do, or at least he tries with all of his might to get everything he said he was going to do done. And he's also not running on, here's free shit, vote for me. He's trying to make everything better. He's trying to bring back businesses that left and went to China. He's bringing them back. He's already got a new trade deal with Mexico and Canada. He's working on China, but China, like I said in a previous video, China is America's biggest enemy. It ain't Russia. It's China. Russia sits there and makes little bot accounts to sit there and talk crap about our political leaders and all this, that, and the other. China is sending out computer scanners and all this stuff to steal our intellectual properties for our businesses and stuff, for they can take it back to China and just recreate American stuff and sell it for way cheaper, undermining all of our stuff. So, to me, China's a lot bigger of a problem. But yeah, you got Tulsi Gabbard, which she's pretty much, she's already fizzled out. They don't even want to talk about her. The Democratic Party, for some reason, doesn't seem to like her too much. I think it was her, years back, she said she didn't believe in same-sex marriage and all this stuff. And that Democratic Party, they like to pander to minority groups and whatnot. So they had to throw that out there and say, oh, but she said this, that, and the other. I mean, like I said, they like to eat their own. They like to cannibalize their own party if they have one or two things that they don't like about them, until something really big goes down, like here in Virginia, where our governor, lieutenant governor, and our attorney general all got into some type of scandal. But if you notice, that's been swept under the rug with the whole national emergency and Jussie Smollett thing. No one's talking about the scandals in Virginia no more, which I figured, because that's usually how the Democrats roll. They'll sit there and they'll nitpick each other so hard on policies, because you got the far left and then the centrist left, and then that little group in between. They'll nitpick each other and go to war with each other over that type of stuff. But when it comes to something serious, They only go after like a Republican for that. They won't actually go after their own. They try to sweep that under the rug because they know deep in their head that situation is going to hurt them, probably the Democratic Party in Virginia come 2020. But yeah, so one more far left person entering into the Democratic campaign. So we will see what happens. I'm pretty sure that the support he had in the beginning, he's not going to have this time, because people that didn't know much about his policies that he was pushing forward, were the Bernie Bros and whatnot. I don't think they knew exactly what he was pushing forward would actually do. This would all of these programs they want to introduce would financially just bankrupt the United States. We don't have that type of money to be thrown around, especially when we already have so many social welfare programs and stuff like that. See, I kind of like what this president's doing right now. He's trying to make sure jobs are out there to where people can get off those social welfare programs. Sure, there's going to be people with disabilities, mental, physical, and whatnot, and they're going to need some help. Sure, there's going to be single moms and single dads out there who may need a little bit of help with food stamps or something, and I'm all for that. That's fine. But there's going to be no more of that. There's no reason to have no more people just sitting around because they don't want to work, which the Democrats seem to be kind of on board with. If you don't want to work, we'll just give you a little bit of money, We got all these other people working. They can pay for you to sit at home and do nothing. And that's not a good way to go. But yeah, so like I said, the old geriatric socialist is at it again. I don't think he's going to get far, especially if Biden gets in. See, Biden's going to throw everything off, because you got your Rust Belt Democrats and stuff who they're just not going to go for a socialistic type platform. They're just not going to go for it. They didn't really go for it to begin with. These are business Democrats and whatnot, and they're not going to go for it at all, because one of their big things in the socialist side of the Democratic Party, like the green portion, as they like to call themselves, they don't care about people that are in business. They hate big business people. They hate the people that have actually built businesses that employ thousands of people, thousands upon thousands of people. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez right now. She's sitting here touting the Amazon failed deal as a this is a win. This is a win. Who won? I think Amazon won, because they're still going to get theirs. I mean, I could make a whole nother video on that, just because it shows somehow she has an economic degree but yet knows nothing about economics. New York State was going to make $26 billion a year in revenue, while tax subsidies was going to give, Amazon was going to get $3 billion back in tax subsidies. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is so stupid in her lack of any type of economics, she thought that now we can just take that $3 billion and use it towards something else. There is no $3 billion. There's no $3 billion, because those were tax subsidies. That was pretty much taxes that they were paying that they were going to get back every year. So it was all Amazon's money in the first place. And she's too dumb to realize this. She thinks there's just going to be $3 billion sitting around because this deal didn't go through. This is the type of people in the Democratic Party right now. This is the type of people on the far left side of the Democratic Party. Not all. I'm sure there's still some old centrists trying to hold down the fort. But, good luck in 2020. I don't think none of these people are going to be able to take Donald Trump out. I think he's going to be reelected. And I think he's going to be reelected in a big way. Especially because they keep preaching socialism. But this video's gotten really long, so I'm going to cut it off here. As always, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the flip side.